They say, find a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. But I believe it's more than just finding a job like that. It's more than just hoping that it will come into your life. It's about discovering really who you truly are, what drives you, your why, your purpose. When you understand this, when you feel it, when you know it, you're no longer just running on a hamster wheel, working towards someone else's dream. You can find more meaning and purpose in your work and life. I've been there myself and I've seen so many beautiful souls find that in their life. And yes, you can actually find or create a career, the job you love, so you never, ever, ever have to work a day in your life. Many people work just to get by, feeling like they're running someone else's race. Yet, when you connect with what you love and what motivates you, both work and life become enjoyable and exciting. However, if you don't discover your why and what you truly want, feelings of being unfulfilled and joyless can and will creep in. Like me and many others, you might face challenges like depression, anxiety, stress, burnout, overwhelm, and so much more. I am Constantin Morun, a neuroencoding and transformational growth specialist. My own journey overcoming a lifelong battle with depression, anxiety, burnout, and the 10 thieves of our dreams: procrastination, hesitation, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection, imposter syndrome, self-loathing, self-doubt, stress, and overwhelm forms the cornerstone of my 2+ decades in personal and professional development. The first-hand experience has deeply shaped my approach to empowering others, to empowering you. In my diverse career, I've held numerous leadership and change roles within the corporate and coaching worlds. Combined with my degree in mathematics and expertise as a licensed neuroencoding specialist, I bring to the table a unique blend of practical life strategies and neuropsychological insights. Having guided countless individuals on similar paths, my mission is to empower and guide you in discovering your why, rewiring your brain, and overcoming limiting beliefs to unlock your full potential. As someone who is still on this transformative journey, I warmly invite you to join me in this process of growth and self-discovery. Together, let's embark on a transformative journey to break free from the barriers holding us back, holding you back, stepping into the life you always wanted. A life filled with purpose, fulfillment, abundance, and joy. So let me tell you a personal story. As some of you may know, I've been fighting depression for a very, very long time, over a decade. It hasn't become really apparent until it intensified in 2021 and part of 2022. And you see, even during those years, I was on a personal growth and transformation journey. I had and still have the job of my dreams, working for an amazing company in the corporate world. I have a loving family, always had, right? Had all the things someone wanted, yet I felt depressed, felt anxious, felt burnt out, felt stressed, and as a result, procrastinated, hesitated, was filled with self-doubt, was filled with fear of failure, success, fear of rejection, oh my, and so much more. And you see, I was successful by all definitions. However, I wasn't feeling the way inside. Why? Because I was missing that clear purpose, the clarity that something like that would bring. And you see, I've been someone questioning that all my life. What's the purpose of our life on this planet? There must be one, otherwise, to me, it doesn't make sense. Billions of people getting born here on this planet, and there's no real reason behind why they're here other than hopefully have a good childhood, which most of us don't get an education if you're fortunate enough to be in that part of the world, get a job, find a partner, have a family, hopefully raise them all, and then pass on. No, there has to be more to life than that. And sure, some people come into this world to experience exactly like what I just described. and no judgment on anyone. If that's you, beautiful, perfect. But most of us have this deeper longing in our heart for something more, but we can't put our mind to it because our mind gets stuck in what our society tells us, on what school tells us, on what everyone around us tells us, right? We have to look deeper. We have to look beyond the mind. We have to look into our hearts. Now, where does my story go from here? Last year, in 2022, my transformation journey skyrocketed. But see, that's also the year I had the most severe depression I've ever felt in my life. I was at the lowest of my lows, yet amazing things were happening in my life. And during this time is when I finally took all the learnings I've done over the last decade and sat down and spent time to uncover my why, uncover my purpose. And I did all the work by myself until the very last piece when I wanted to get a bit more clarity and validation, and of course, a second, third, fourth set of eyes on my work. And that's when I worked with a really dear friend of mine who at the time was just a coach and mentor to me, and since then became a very, very close friend. Now, last week we talked about finding your why in more depth, so go see that episode if you're interested in that. However, this week is about finding more meaning and purpose in your work and life. And you see, once I spent the time to really uncover what drives me, what motivates me, what really brings joy and fulfillment at the heart level, not just the mind level, what happened next? Well, it took me a bit of time to figure out how I'm going to do it and the what that's going to come out of the how. So you see, I still felt at my lowest. I still had to fight anxiety, depression, burnout, stress. However, things started to slowly move in the right direction. I made a quick inventory of my life. I realized that 10-15% of it was driven by my why, by my purpose. So there was no wonder I was feeling depressed, burnt out, anxious, right? I mean, I wasn't doing things that truly brought joy and fulfillment. I did many things that were just providing a temporary relief, and I was then trying to escape through computer games, through watching Netflix, through eating, and many other distractions. Because why would I want to sit with my pain when I can just distract myself? And that's how I find most of us are going through life. And then we wake up one day and 6 months have passed, 1 year has passed, a decade has passed, and we're just watching life go by while helping someone else get their dreams. Be it your boss, be it the company you work for, be it your friends. And there's nothing wrong with helping others achieve what they want. But if it's at the cost of achieving your own dreams, if it's at the cost of achieving your own happiness, at the cost of achieving your own joy and fulfillment, then is it really worth it? I argue that you can be selfish and find your joy and fulfillment first. And then when you find it, everyone else around you will now get a chance to find theirs. They will get permission to go find theirs. And because you have been able to uncover it, you'll be in a much better position to help someone else find it. And that's exactly where my story leads. You see, I found my why, I did my inventory, I then brought more of it into my professional life and personal life. This podcast is a result of the journey. This conversation with you is a result of the journey. And now, because I'm so aligned and I find so much meaning and purpose in my work in the corporate world as well as in my personal life, I can inspire others to do the same. I can empower others to do the same. I can guide them to do the same. I can help them and support them to do the same. And I've had so many beautiful souls in my life, from close friends to people I've just met, that have been so impacted by what I've gone through. And now it's almost like they get permission to go on this journey with me, and of course at times by themselves. So that's what I'm telling you. You actually have the power to not just change your life, but the life of those you love, and then the world at large. But it starts with you, no one else, with you first. So that's how you find more meaning and purpose in your work and life. You look inwards, you find what drives you, find your why, you find your purpose, and the rest will be history. Beautiful history, I might add. Now, You may be thinking that your work does not allow for personal passions or purpose, or perhaps you struggle to see how your job fits into the larger life purpose. Maybe you've tried before and found that balancing personal fulfillment with work responsibilities is just too hard. Or you might even worry that focusing on purpose might distract from career advancements. After all, many of us want to climb the corporate ladder or the ladder of whatever job you're in. Some of you may feel like your personal interests are too different from your professional role, or even think that incorporating purpose into your job may risk your job security. The good news, though, you are not alone. You see, I understand how you feel. I appreciate how you feel. And I agree that all those concerns are valid. Why? Because I've been there myself. I too didn't think that I could truly bring more purpose and joy and meaning into my corporate life. I thought I had to live multiple lives. I had my corporate life, and that was the Constantin at work. I had my personal life with close friends. That was, let's say, the authentic Constantin. And then everything in between, right? I was someone else at different junctures based on what I thought people wanted, instead of looking and saying, you know what, this is who Constantin is, and this is who you get, regardless of what area of life you get to meet him in. If you meet me in my corporate life, I am Constantin. If you meet me in my personal life, I am Constantin, meaning I am authentic and vulnerable, joyful, a child at heart, right? Someone that jokes around and makes others feel good, someone that inspires people and empowers people, someone that supports and guides others on their beautiful journey, so they too can find their why, their joy, their fulfillment, their success, their abundance in this life and in the world around them. Now, as I said, I too didn't think that it was possible to really truly find your why and purpose and bring it to your work and to your life and to align those things. However, everything was a lie that I have been telling myself to keep myself small, to keep myself from changing, to keep myself from evolving. And I hope that you as well get to see that lie that you have been living, not because anyone wanted anything bad for you, but because your mind, your ego, your brain wants to protect you. And it's learned things in your childhood, it's learned things in your life that unfortunately keep you small, keep you from achieving your dreams and your ultimate potential. Now that we've talked a bit about my story, let's take a quick look at some of the things you can do to bring more meaning and purpose to your work and your life. First, assuming you've done the work of finding your why and finding your purpose, and if you haven't, please go back and watch the other video or podcast episode. But first is aligning your job with your personal purpose. What do I mean by that? I'll give myself as an example, and then we'll look at a few other examples there as well. Now, I work in sales in the corporate world, and I happen to be a technical specialist. So my job revolves around working with many people, right? The people in my media team, my extended teams, the customers I work with, the partners I work with, and a few other groups. Now, that's the key part here. Regardless of what job you're in, you will likely work with at least some people. Even if you are a construction worker and work by yourself, or plant trees in a forest in the middle of nowhere, at some point you will interact with people. What I've come to realize is that if my why is to inspire, to empower, to guide, and to support individuals on their journeys, well, I can do more of that into my professional life, right? So I now approach every conversation, regardless of who the person is or what they may have done in the past, as a conversation with a fellow brother or a fellow sister. And I am more compassionate, I am more empathic, I am more understanding. So if someone is late to a meeting, old Constantine would start to fume and say, hey, you know what? They're disrespectful. They don't respect my time. They don't respect this project. And that would cause me to go on a loop of negative thoughts, which led to negative feelings and negative actions, right? Where maybe you're not as inclusive anymore. Maybe you're saying some mean words that you don't mean, etc. And then, of course, that led to certain results, such as friction between teammates, friction between people. So How did I bring more meaning and purpose to my work? By being and living and fulfilling my purpose and why. Can I inspire people in every conversation? No. Can I empower them in every conversation? No. Can I guide and support them in every conversation? Probably not. But one of those things will likely happen almost every conversation because it's how I approach those conversations. So you see, now you have a picture of how this can be brought into your life. Now, let's say you tell me, Constantin, but I'm a barista at Starbucks. How can I bring my why into that work? I mean, I just serve coffee, maybe some food. Well, let me ask you this. Let's say your mission in life might be similar to mine, where you want to support and guide people on whatever journey they may be on, right? Whatever mission you have. Can you not find ways to bring into your work? Can you not perhaps approach your conversations with every client with a smile on your face, with a hello, with a how are you, but one that's heartfelt and not one that's so superficial? Hey, how are you? Good, good. And then everyone looks away. So yes, you see, there are many ways one can bring their purpose, their why into their work and align with their job. Even if you're the construction worker, guess what? Yes, you might work alone. But then at times you work with people and then you take breaks with other people. Maybe you're the one that inspires them to put a smile on their face because you tell a beautiful joke or you're the one telling stories. It doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it simple. But once you expand your mind and allow your heart to come in, so it brings that why, that true purpose, miracles will happen. Now, the second item on my list, which is something I did as well, same as with the first one, right? It's look to get guidance and help from others. In my corporate life, I was fortunate enough to have mentors and even coaches. In my personal life, the same way. But you see, I also looked externally for someone that could truly help me on my path. As I mentioned earlier, I did hire a coach and a mentor to help me uncover my why and bring more of it into my life. So while finding and integrating your purpose is profoundly rewarding, it can also be complex and challenging. So this is where mentoring and coaching come into play. A mentor or coach can guide you in aligning your professional and personal life with your true purpose. They offer personalized advice, support, and accountability, helping you navigate obstacles and stay true to your goals. And that's what it did for me. Because you see, I'm pretty good at setting goals for myself and following up on them and doing that, but we get distracted because life happens. So it doesn't matter if you have someone you pay with, but having an accountability person in your corner or even a group can be the difference between you doing what you want to be doing and you getting distracted and delaying everything that you want. So seek a mentor at work, seek mentors at work, right? Seek them in your personal life. And don't always navigate to people that know you, because there's a big risk of them not being fully objective with you, right? There's a risk of them being biased because they know you and they may not want to upset you, or they may like who you are right now and don't want you to change, right? And you have to be careful about that. As someone who has both experienced and guided others through this journey, I do offer coaching and mentorship services tailored to help you find and live your purpose in every aspect of your life. So if you're looking for guidance in this transformative journey, feel free to reach out to me at Constantin at unleashthyself.com. Together, we can make your work and personal life a true reflection of who you are and what you believe in, and thus bring you more joy, more fulfillment, more success, more abundance, and more wealth, whatever that means to you. And again, it's not just financial, it's physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental abundance and wealth. Now let's move on to the next item on my list. A lot of people, once they uncover their why and their purpose, they realize that yes, they can bring more of it into their work, and it could be difficult. But some also realize that they may need to transition to a career aligned with their why and their purpose. I've helped people transition not just from one company to another or from a company to their own business, but also within the same company. Let's say you work for a large organization and you realize that your why, your purpose is not fully aligned with the job you're doing, but there are other jobs within the company that you can do. You can always approach your manager and other leaders and say, hey, I'm on this personal transformation journey. This is what I have uncovered. I love this company so much and the people I work with. And I would like to explore other opportunities that will better use my skill, talents, and everything else I have to offer. Can you imagine if you are a manager right now, if you are a leader and someone came to you and said that, would you not want to help them find the best role for them? Would you not want to have someone like that on your team? I know I would, and that would be the first person I would want in my corner. So don't be afraid. Once you understand what it is that you truly want, go after it. Be it in your current job, and if that's not a possibility, start looking somewhere else. Yes, there's a recession going on. Yes, it's scary to be looking for other things. But if you don't do it, if you don't take control of that, who will? Ask yourself that. Who will take control for you and do things for you? Almost no one, right? It's up to you to make those decisions. Now, here's what's important. If you say, you know what, I can't truly align my purpose and why with this organization or with this job or this career or any career in the corporate world or other worlds, right? Like I said, be it in the construction industry or being in the hospitality industry or whatever other industry you're in, well, you may want to start your own business. Okay. And the mistake I see a lot of people make is that they quit whatever they have because it makes them unfulfilled, it makes them anxious, it makes them stressed out, burnt out, but they have nothing aligned yet. They have nothing set up so they could actually hit the ground running. And what it does, it causes even more overwhelm, more anxiety, more stress, and it can be detrimental to your short-term and long-term success. So if there's an opportunity you want to start learning about yourself, start working on yourself, and start learning how to navigate to a new endeavor, such as building a business. So my biggest encouragement to you, because I've seen it in my life in the past, in my 20s when I tried this, and in my life as a coach and mentor others, if you prepare yourself, if you go at this the right way, your chances of success skyrocket. So don't feel like you need to give up on what you're doing right this second just because your why, your purpose cannot be fully aligned or even partially aligned with your work. Because remember, this is not a sprint. We're not trying to just fix the short term. We're actually in it for the long term. Because after all, wouldn't you want a life where every day feels like a dream? Every day you can wake up and be grateful that you have all the things you have, including a beautiful career. Oh, that's the life you're aspiring to. Not a life where, maybe this year you wake up like that and next year maybe it's different. So I encourage you to take a small yet immediate action to uncover your why, uncover your purpose, and you have done that already. Do a quick inventory in your life. See how much of it is being used in your life, how much of it shows up in your life, be it work or personal life. And then once that inventory is done, find ways to bring more of it into all aspects of your life. And I know you've loved this episode a lot and you're just ready to go and find your why and purpose. So please click on this video up here that's coming up on exactly how to find your why and purpose and why it's important. And of course, reach out to me at any time at Constantin at unleashthyself.com.